Hello everyone, and today I'm doing a video about my current everyday makeup routine. Now this isn't going to be like my number one favorite products, not even my number one products at the moment, it's just things that I'm using and enjoying right now. So this changes very often, but I've actually been enjoying this routine right now, so I thought I would show you guys. The only thing that changes a bit is the eyeshadow, because I feel like I switched that one up the most, but like my base and then my cheek products for like the past week, this is what I've been doing. Obviously not like a huge amount of time that I've been doing this because I do switch around the individual products, but I thought it would still be fun to show you guys because I haven't sat down and done my makeup on camera in a while, so let's just get on into it. There are a few things in this video that are like newer to the market, so I figured that would be fun to show you guys, but my go-to primer, which it's been this for like the past few weeks, if not a few months, I've been mixing the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen with the Auric Glow Lust. Now, I normally put a sunscreen on underneath this unless I apply a lot of it, but I've been using the Unseen Sunscreen more as a primer, and it's just added benefits that it has sunscreen in it, so I honestly change how much I use every day depending on like how much sunscreen coverage I want, but today I'm just gonna take that much. That's not enough for like my only sunscreen. Again, this is just my primer, and then I'm gonna take like in between a half pump to a full pump of the Auric Glow Lust. If I'm using Fenty Ease Drops, I'll usually do a full pump of this, but with the foundation that I'm using today, I think I only need about that much, so it's like 3/4 of a pump. My hair is pushed back. By the way, I have this Glow Lust in the shade Selenite. I love this stuff. I kind of want to get the new Morganite because I feel like that'd be great for me to use all over, so you can kind of see how peachy that is on me. I feel like the new Morganite would be great to just like use this all over and then use a little bit of concealer and then call it a day, but like that's a little bit peachy for me. I know it is summer, but my face is still pretty pale. I don't feel like I'm super pale right now, but my makeup all still matches me. I'm like super good about applying sunscreen when I'm like, especially at the beach or like going to Disney. I am on the sunscreen, like I apply so much. So I just rub this all over. I know it's kind of counterintuitive to use a like mattifying primer with a glowy primer, but I feel like the mattifying primer helps my makeup stay on in the heat, and it also just helps to smooth out my skin. But the glowy primer, this one isn't as glowy as it is necessarily, like it is glowy, but it's also really hydrating, so I feel like it doesn't make my skin look super dry, and it also hydrates any dry patches that I'll have on my skin. I have pretty normal skin. I hope this lighting isn't like too washed out. This is like all natural lighting, and then this is the artificial, but you can still see that my skin has a glow, but it's like dried down because I think the Unseen is like a silicone-y texture. But I've been loving this base lately. I feel like my skin just looks really great while still not being like super tacky or anything. So I just serve that around. That's what it looks like. I know Auric still hasn't restocked. I think they're doing it soon though and coming out with more items. But next, honestly, I surprised myself. I usually use the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops, and I would say that's like my everyday foundation. But like in the past week, I've been using something else. I've been using the Cosmetics Daydream Cushion, which is still like a favorite of mine. I've raved about this before. It's just that the Fenty one has like taken up all space in my heart for foundations, but I've been using this one lately and I have been really liking it. And the reason I've been reaching for this over the Fenty one is because this one has better coverage, and so I've been struggling a lot with my cheeks, not being able to cover it with concealer. But with the Cosmetics one, I don't really struggle with that because the foundation has enough coverage, and my cushion is drying out quite a bit, so I kind of have to go in there a lot. But can you see how like that just conceals the redness? It's not like a full coverage or anything. I just feel like it cancels out my redness super well. I don't know if it really shows up on camera. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause doing that, and I'm actually going to take a little bit more Glow Lust, and I'm gonna do the concealer trick that Tara talks about. I've been loving doing it. I'm just going to take the smallest amount of Glow Lust. I usually like to do this before foundation, but I don't have much on. I rub it between my fingers, don't mind my nail polish, and I'll just pat it on It doesn't add a ton of coverage, but I don't know if you can tell, probably not because of the lighting, but it doesn't add coverage. It just kind of reflects back the darkness, and I find especially with a tiny bit of concealer or my foundation on top, it just does the trick. Even like if I'm not gonna be applying a ton of makeup, if I just want to put this on my under eyes, I find it's like fine for every day. Like you can still see my darkness, but it just does a great job like reflecting it back. I look really dewy in the camera right now compared to how I normally look, but I'm gonna go back in with the foundation. I'm just taking my Fenty Beauty foundation brush. It's the 115. This is the one I always use. I'm just gonna keep putting this on. It's a little bit light for me, but with all my other base products, it looks fine. The Cosmetics one, I think I was talking about this earlier, but it's a little bit more hydrating than the Fenty one. I don't think it's drying at all. It's not like a dewy foundation. I still think it's like a natural finish, but it's definitely like hydrating and on the more dewy side compared to the Fenty. I would say is also a natural finish, but it has more of a dry down and it's not as dewy or hydrating as this one. You can kind of tell. I think I probably applied too much Glow Lust, but I've been using a lot of powdered cheek products compared to normal, so I think it'll balance itself out. I'm just going to take the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. This is like the #1 brush in my collection because I use it so often, and I just go on top to pat and make sure everything is nicely blended in. So in real life, let me try and show you. My skin just looks so hydrated. It's not like extremely dewy where it just looks oily. I feel like my skin just looks great. For concealer, most days I've been using the Glossier Stretch Concealer. Sometimes I'll use the Rare Beauty one, but I like this concealer a lot. I have the shade G11, and I just take my finger and I'll just pat it in. And I look at the difference between that. Okay, I went ahead and did the other side. I don't apply much of this at all. I honestly just throw my finger in there once for each eye, and that's enough coverage for me. It is really dewy, and I do set my under eyes. Before I set anything though, I'm going to do all my cream products. So honestly, I haven't been doing many cream products lately, but I've been using the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. I have the shade Light. My boyfriend got me this for my birthday. You guys know that the Fenty one is my favorite, but I have hit pan on it, and hopefully I can use this up sometime soon. But I thought it would be nice to try something new. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Airbrush Stipple Brush. I got this when e.l.f. was having a sale, and I just go straight on here onto my face. I don't know if I like this one as much as my Fenty one because it doesn't have as good of a color. I don't know, it's a little bit more warm. It's definitely not a contour on me. Online they show it's like really cool toned. This is not, but I don't know, I still really like it. In person, I don't think it's like as orangey. It's like a good natural bronzer, and this one compared to the Fenty has not more coverage, but it just has more opacity and it's more of a matte finish. I think it's more similar to the Milk Makeup Bronzer where it's not as sheer and you kind of can just put it on and it's like done. It blends out super easily and you don't have to build it up at all, versus the Fenty has that sheerness to it that I think looks really natural on the skin, but it's just a different like texture and different formula. So I'm glad I have both, especially since I really liked the Milk Makeup one, but the shade range wasn't good and mine was expired. So I really like this bronzer. It looks weird right now because it's the only color on my face, and then sometimes I'll take the brush on the end of the Makeup by Mario one just to pat it in and make sure everything is blended out instead of the Real Techniques brush, but I don't really use this to blend it out because it's really firm and also really short, which just makes it more firm. So that is the bronzer. I really enjoy it. I don't know if it's everyone's cup of tea. Those are the only cream base products that I'm going to use, so I am going to set my face, and I'm finally going to use the NARS Light Reflecting Powder on camera. I don't know if you're going to be able to see like how good this powder is, but I'm going to use this all over my face, but I'm going to start with my under eyes, just blending out any creases that there are, and then take my Real Techniques setting brush and just pat that on the under eyes, especially where I get the creases. And can you see the difference? And it's not dry at all. It's just a magical powder. and it flattens it out to like such a flattering look. I don't know, this powder is just really, really great. I find it just perfects it. Like, look how much better my makeup looks with the under eye set. And then I just take a big fluffy powder brush and I'm just gonna set on my cheeks. This one is also translucent. I think they have a deeper translucent shade as well, but it doesn't have any coverage, so it's not gonna take away from my bronzer. And just look how good my skin looks. You can still see the dew. I haven't put any here, but you can still see the dew, but it just looks perfected. Like, not everything is super dewy. I like to take a smaller brush right around my nose. That's what it looks like after the powder. I love it. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do on the eyes because I switch it up like every day. But for the blush, I want to use the Pat McGrath Skin Finish Divine Blush in the shade Divine Rose. I showed this on my Instagram stories of a demo, but I figured I would show it here. I cannot stop using this blush. I've always said like a powder blush is a powder blush. Like, there's nothing super special about powder blushes. If it's good, it's good. And I still stand by that, but I cannot using this. This shade, the formula, the way it applies and looks on the skin is just so good. It's not as purpley as it might look in the pan or in swatches. I'm taking the Eco Tools, I think it's like the sheer stipple powder brush, and I'm gonna like tap in quite a few times because this brush doesn't pick up that much. And the shade, I wouldn't say is too pigmented. I haven't tried it with another brush though, because this one is super sheer, but I'm just gonna stipple this on. And do you just see how beautiful that is? It's like the most beautiful blush. And it looks so at home on my face, because normally with cool tone stuff, I don't think it looks super good. I have more yellow olive undertones, and cool tone stuff sometimes just looks weird. But this is so good. I got this in PR, full disclosure, but like I didn't have to post anything on YouTube or Instagram. I just had to leave a review. Wait, no, I did have to post an Instagram post, but like that doesn't affect my review now. Pat McGrath is not watching this, probably not even looking at my Instagram, but I'll apply a little bit on my forehead to get some of that color around my face. But do you see how gorgeous that blush is? And it doesn't look powdery at all. It doesn't look like I have makeup on my face. Like, I can't feel it, I can't see it. It's not clinging to anything or exaggerating any pores. It's just a stunning blush, and it's a really nice blush color. I've heard some people like these, but they don't think it's anything special. I don't think $40 is like, you don't need to spend that much on a blush, but it's really good. And I might pick up a second color when Pat McGrath has a sale. I have too many blushes right now though, but I'm just absolutely loving this blush color. Okay, and then for highlighter, I have a new product that I haven't used. So this isn't like my everyday routine, because honestly, I'll switch up whatever highlighter I'm using, but I got the Makeup by Mario Soft Glow Highlighter in the shade Pearl. I picked this up because they're having the 4x points thing, and I had a bunch of gift cards. So I figured, why not get this? I swatched it and it feels really nice. It's a very unique texture. It's like very soft in the pan. I haven't taken pictures of this, but I kind of don't care. So I'm just gonna run my brush in it a little bit. I'm gonna peel this off. Ready? Satisfying. I haven't watched too many reviews of this. So my friend said it was more of a bold highlighter, but I've also heard you can soften it. And so far I'm really liking how that looks. Like, it's definitely a highlighter. You can see that it's there, but that's still really pretty. I feel like since I've been using more products that aren't straight up dewy and are more, I don't know, they're more like skin textured, satin finished, or just more powders. I don't know what it is, just not just straight up dewy products. I've been really missing highlighter in my routine because I feel like my face can look a little bit flat without it, and with highlighter it just adds a little bit of dimension. I'm glad I got this. It is expensive, and I've been, I don't know, kind of cheaping out with buying things because I've just been wanting to save money, but because of my gift cards I've been wanting to try this, so I did, and I like it. It's a magnetic closure. Anyways, that is the cheeks and the base. I'm loving it. I'm actually going to go in a little bit with bronzer just to kind of warm things up and set the cream bronzer a little bit. I'm just going to use my Kosas bronzer because that's what I've been using lately. Just take a little bit. This one is in the shade Light, so it's not gonna deepen it a ton. I just feel like my face is a little devoid of color, so I'm gonna add that a little bit more on the cheeks. This is probably just because I didn't apply my cheek product super heavily, but I feel like it brings everything together a little bit more. Okay, I was going to pull maybe a palette, but my true everyday routine is single eyeshadows, so I thought I would use the Charlotte Tilbury Oyster Pearl. I don't know if I used this on camera. It's the Eyes to Mesmerize, and I think it'll match nicely. It's not super cool toned, but it's a very unique brown, and I'm trying to find, oh, I just bought a new replacement of my Fenty Beauty eye primer. Just going to apply a little bit. You don't need a ton. Okay, and then in my crease, I don't need anything crazy. I'm just gonna take my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, and I think I'm just gonna mix this shade and this shade. Put those right in the crease. I don't want anything super pigmented, just to help, I don't know, blend things a little bit better. So I'm just gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury Oyster Pearl a little bit on my finger. This stuff is really creamy and it kind of just blends itself, so you don't need a ton. And I'm just going to apply it on my lid. Alternate between like a clean finger and then the finger that I picked it up with, just to blend it out. And these have like a little bit of a texture to them. Like on the lids, there is a little bit of sparkle, the tiniest bit of like a metallic finish, but not anything like a powder eyeshadow. It just adds a little bit of dimension and isn't like a complete matte eyeshadow. And that's the eyes. Super simple, and you can obviously build this up, but I just like the sheer wash of color. I know these pots are expensive, but these will last for so long, and I just love them. I want to pick up a new shade. I keep dropping everything, but I want to pick up the new shade in Pillow Talk during a new Sephora, like this 4 times points. I'm getting a rouge reward probably this week if I can snag one, and I definitely want to get that new shade. Let me know if you want to see me use it on camera, but isn't that just so pretty? Again, I don't use that color every day, but I use my single and cream eyeshadows pretty much every day, or just a one shade look no matter what palette I'm using. For brows, I'm using the Kosas Air Brow. I have the shade Soft Brown. It's not the best color on me, it's a little bit warm, but this product is so good. I've been really loving it. If you want something like to super set your brows and like almost make them crispy, you won't like this unless you want to apply a clear brow gel on top, which is what I normally do. And then while that dries, I'm going to do mascara, go on with the second layer, and then set it with the clear brow gel, and I will be right back. So for mascara, I'm using the Lancome Monsieur Big. Okay, that is the brows and mascara done. I can never get both sides of my eyelashes to look good, but this is what it's looking like. And then for my lips, I've just been going in with the Glossy Ultra Lip in the shade Villa. And yeah, that's the look. So it's nothing dramatic, nothing bold, but like this is the type of look that I can wear to class, to the library, to run errands. Honestly, I don't wear makeup like half the time, because like if I need to go somewhere, I'm just gonna go. But when I want to get ready, this is what I've been doing. Very natural eye makeup, and just look how beautiful these cheeks are. I actually want to take a little bit of the highlighter and just pop that in the inner corner. Not gonna do a whole much, especially on camera. I'm not doing enough where you can really tell the difference, but just add a little bit of brightness. And yeah, that's the makeup routine. Let me know if you guys want to see like more of me getting ready on camera. I feel like I've quickened up my routine a little bit. Obviously not today because I've been talking, but I just absolutely love the way my skin looks right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know some things that you've been enjoying lately, or even some things that you want to see me review. I have a few things on my wish list that I'm planning on getting with my Rouge Reward, and I'm really excited to show you guys them. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.